welcome back to my channel. Thank you if you are a returning viewer, and welcome if you are a new viewer. I appreciate you stopping by and checking out my little side of the internet, which is mostly all about knitting. May get into some crochet or cross stitch, some quilting later on, things like that. I am Melissa. Welcome to my knitting podcast. I just recently started vlogging or podcasting, I should say, not too long ago. And this is now my third episode. So I'm pretty shocked that I'm still here. I'm a pretty shy person by nature, but once I get to know people, I'm a little bit more outgoing. But yeah, so I'm kind of shocked that I'm still, getting used to this whole thing. I'm still pretty uncomfortable. I'm just very nervous still. But anyway, let's get on with some things. So I would like to show off a finished object I'm so excited about. If you haven't noticed, what I've been wearing. So this is the Boho blush shawl by Andrea Mowry. I just finished it like last week, I would say. So it has these beautiful tassels on it and these beautiful different sections of garter stitch, brioche, and some lacy bits. So yeah, I think it looks beautiful. It's a crescent-shaped shawl. The wingspan is very large. I love how wide it is. Like, it is much wider than my own wingspan, which I love. I did soak and block it. I'm gonna try and put a little bit of that footage maybe at the end or maybe here. But yeah, I don't think I have any footage of me actually pinning it down on my blocking mats. But I do have I believe it's the Coco Knits brand of blocking mats, if you're curious. I got them as a Christmas present. Oh my gosh. Like 8 years ago. It's been a while, but yeah, it's a beautiful shawl. I am very happy that I finally finished this. Oh my goodness. It was a labor of love, but it is very, very satisfying to have this finished. I'm really looking forward to wearing it this spring and summer, and hopefully whenever I get married sometime this year. So yeah, I saw this shawl on Ravelry. I had it in my favorites for a while under my shawls folder, and I just loved it. I thought it was so, like, I don't know, just I loved it. And I just thought of how pretty it would be for me to wear during my wedding, or even just after that. I would still be able to wear it during like those cooler nights or mornings, whenever it's, too warm to really wear like a sweater, but it's just chilly enough that you want something over your shoulders. So that's where this came from. I made it out of the Yarn Bee 44th Street. I know that I've spoken about this in my other two videos, and I am so sorry about episode 2. I was just tongue twisted, I think, because I kept saying like Pearl Bee, Pearl Soho, all this stuff. I tried to correct it as much as I could in that video, but yes, it is the Yarn Bee 44th Street that I used for this. It took about, I know, one full skein, and I think about, I'd say like half of the second. I'm thinking because I know like the first skein I used wasn't even a full skein, and then I used the little remnant and that finished, I would say, off like a full skein, and then I busted into the second skein that I actually bought, and I used about half of that, including the tassels. So you could probably get away with like 1 1/4 and have a ton left over to be able to. There's Miss Luna. She's chilling in the room with me today. So you may hear her walking around. But yeah, if you didn't want to do the tassels, then I would say you could probably get away with just 1 skein and maybe 1/4. And then have plenty left over for adding into whatever project you may have in mind. So because I did the tassels, I was really hoping I would have enough yarn left over to actually make like a tank top out of it or something, but I don't think I will, because this is all that I have left. I haven't weighed it, so maybe I could do that and see, but I do have 3 other skeins in the other colors that I used for my holiday Soldotna. I'll put it on the screen because I probably did not pronounce that correct. But anyway, I have this little bit in like the ivory color, and then I have a pinky color and a red, like a ruby red. It's really pretty, and then like a darker green. So I may do like some striped tank tops at some point, but that's kind of on the back burner. I'm just gonna put this in my remnant stash in my closet and pick it up whenever I feel like actually working on those things. But as of right now, I've been wearing this shawl a ton. Over this weekend I wore it just around the house because it is getting warmer outside, and so we've actually had to kick on the AC here, which I don't mind. I like it being cold, especially a bedroom. I love having a cold bedroom because then I can snuggle under the blanket, and I don't know, that may just be me. But anyway, so here is this beautiful shawl. I've been wearing it a ton. I don't have anything bad to say about this. I love wearing it, just like a little, you know, I don't want to say traditional or like typical way of people wearing it, but I feel like a lot of people wear shawls this way, just kind of wrap it around, and with this one you could like literally wrap it around a couple more times. But I've been wearing it around my neck. Normally around the house with that AC on, I tend to get kind of cold here and there. So I'll just throw it over my shoulders and wear it like this. This is my favorite way to wear it. It's just kind of wrapped up snugly. But yeah, I actually turned the AC off to record this video because one of the vents is right up in here. Y'all can't see it, but I didn't want it to turn on and then y'all just hear like a big fan and noise and all of that. So I turned it off, so I won't be wearing this for the rest of the video because I will get way too warm. But I will just set it over here. Okay, and then other thing, what I am wearing. I'm wearing my Felix pullover. I will actually put on the screen down here the yarn I used. I believe it was also a yarn bee. I just forgot the exact type of yarn it was. I know the brand was the yarn bee. I got it from Hobby Lobby, but it is so soft. It is so soft. I do think it was like acrylic or polyester, and I know some people have issues and stuff with it. Again, I love natural fibers. I really do. I will be showing some yarn here that I got with that are full 100% natural fibers, but for me sometimes it's about the budget. 100% with me, it's about the budget, and if I can get a sweater like this for literally under $20, I don't mind using it. I get that it is better for the environment to, you know, source your yarn and certain things from natural things instead of like plastics. I get it. I know for me personally, it makes me kind of feel bad whenever people only speak about buying these skeins of yarn that are beautiful yarns, beautifully dyed. You know, they are worth the money that they're being sold for. But for someone like me who does not have I don't have the extra money to go and actually spend that much on yarn, but then have other people say like how it's wrong or bad for the planet for me to go and craft with a yarn that I am able to afford, I can't get behind that. For me, if someone's able to afford any kind of yarn and knit with it and enjoy it and get that therapeutic love and soothingness, I don't even know if that's a word, soothing effect from it, then go for it, you know? I'm not going to discriminate against anything people want to knit with. Someone could knit with spaghetti and I would be okay with it. I'd rather eat the spaghetti, but hey, if that's what that person had to knit with, go for it. Yeah, that's just me. That's where I stand on it. I say knit with whatever kind of fiber you want to. If it's acrylic, go for it. If you're 100% wool fan, go for it. Anyway, I'm done ranting. That's just been bothering me lately. I just feel like, yes, those things are beautiful. If you can afford it, knit with all of those 100%, wool, plant fibers, what have you. Do it. If you want to make sure you're only buying organically sourced things, do it. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I am not saying that you're a bad person or anything like that. I just don't like when people start pointing fingers or anything like that of like, oh, you shouldn't knit with that because it's only plastic. I get it. I really do. I get it. But anyway, knit with what you want to. I'm not going to discriminate at all. Knitting is knitting in my book. Crocheting, any kind of fiber arts, crafting, anything that brings you joy, I am 100% for it. Do it. I support it. Anyway, back to the sweater. It is the Yarn Bee. I forgot exactly what line of it is, but it was in this beautiful pink dusty rose color, and so it is a cropped sweater. I made it that way. I know some people have had it like actually come down to like their hip bones or what have you. I just felt like it was more flattering to have it just come to about like my waist, my natural waist, to wear with dresses and skirts. But yeah, I made it about bracelet length, a little bit shorter than that. I wouldn't call it 3/4 because 3/4 on my long arm would be like about there, but I have it just like right underneath my Fitbit. That's about where it lays. But yeah, there's a little bit of positive ease. I mean, I'd say like at least 2 inches each side, so about 4 inches positive ease. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful sweater. The yarn is lovely. I absolutely love being able to just toss this in my washer and dryer. I am able to wash and put this bad boy into the dryer and nothing's wrong with it. Honestly, I don't even see any pilling with this. And this is my most worn sweater. I always wear this all the time. It's so easy to just like put over a dress or with jeans or whatever. But yeah, I've worn it so many times and there's no pilling. These are just my decreases, you may be able to see. But yeah, I have not had to take it, what are they called? One of these things. A depiler. This one's mine. I just got this little lint remover from Amazon, but I haven't had to use this on this sweater at all. I actually forgot why it's here on the bookshelf. I may have just like been tidying up and put it there and forgot. I'll put it back. But anyway, so yeah, this is the sweater. It has these beautiful eyelets that go down on the raglan. I know many people have spoken about it. I think it is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think that the yarn worked up really well as well. But yeah, so that's the sweater. I believe I only used like 2 skeins, 2.5 maybe, skeins to make this sweater. I'll put that in the description below. Actually, no, if you just go to my Ravelry at Live in Stitches, and look at my project page. This will be on there, and it will tell you everything that I bought from it. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing. That is my finished object. So let's get into whips now. That sounds like fun. So what I've been working on, of course, it's my temperature blanket right here in my little bag. So if you haven't seen my last 2 episodes that I've put out, I am working on a temperature blanket this year. So it's an annual, like year-long work in progress that I'll be showing during my videos. It is a crochet blanket. I am working it in a, what is it called in crochet? A linen stitch or a moss stitch. I've seen it both ways, but it's kind of like this slipping stitch that goes on. So instead of single crocheting into each stitch, you like single crochet, you chain 1, single crochet into the next stitch and onward, and it's this whole thing. I probably didn't explain that very well. If you YouTube how to crochet a linen stitch, there's so many videos. Anyway, so it's an annual crochet blanket. So every day I crochet a row. And depending on that day's high temperature, that pretty much dictates which color I will be using. So here's my color chart. And I am so excited, y'all, because I'm finally getting into some darker colors. Finally, I'm so excited. I am patiently waiting to use this orange. I love a good orange, and yellow. It's like this beautiful, like mustardy color. I just love it. I want to use this one so bad, but I'm patiently waiting for it to be 67 degrees. One of these days, y'all. One of these days. But my progress so far is going really well. So this marker marks March 1st. So that's what that is. And then we just go up. And see what I mean about it getting warmer? I have not gotten to use this dark of green yet. The darkest that I got to use in like February was like this one. I finally got to use a really, really dark one. I was so happy. It's just getting warmer, and it definitely has changed seasons here. I swear with North Dakota, at least this year from what I've noticed, was literally the moment that the weather changes drastically, like it just stays that way. Like there was no in between. In Washington, I felt like it was constantly like the same kind of temperatures for a while. Like it was always like this kind of cool, like wet spring for quite some time after winter. And then it would go really, really warm in the summer for a little bit and then hit back to that same kind of cold snap, where here it was like distinct seasons. Like you get your traditional winter with snow, it's cold below 0, and then spring you get these beautiful just days of like warm but not terribly warm. There's a nice breeze. It's like literally like a romance novel. The weather, that's really weird to say it that way, but it's like just this picturesque weather right now. It's gorgeous. But yeah, so that's where I am on my blanket. I am loving it. It is so squishy. And here's all of the colors so far. I think it looks so cool. So over here was the beginning of January, and then now here we are in March. And that's kind of what my little markers here are dictating. So I don't know if you can see those very well. So this was February 1st, this marker on this gray row. And then I don't know. I put them there just for me whenever I'm taking my monthly pictures, because I've been posting those on Instagram and on Ravelry. And I kind of try to put the month on there just so there's some kind of record of like what it is, or it just gets blurred together. And at the end of the year, like after December, I'll probably, I'm more than likely taking these back out. I'll need them. But for now anyway, they're just to kind of be there for a guiding for me. And especially if I like missed a day, I can go and I can count just how many rows I did. And then I know, oh yeah, I need to put that row in, which honestly, I'm very proud of myself because it is so hard for me to stay diligent about crocheting every now and then. Like even when I first started this in January, it's like I knew there were like 3 days that I just didn't want to do it. But yeah, ever since, you know, I started these videos, it helps keep me accountable because I actually, you know, am doing it every day. And I actually in my planner now, because I have so many whips, I feel like, oh my gosh, I have so many where I have little milestones or like daily tasks that I like to do. So I love to be organized, and I also love a good check off, like I did that. So this is one of those tasks that I do every day. So once I get a row done, I get to open my planner and get a little check mark there, and I'm good to go. So yeah, and I'm just keeping it in one of these. Honestly, this is for plants. I bought this way back when I was gonna plant potatoes in here because it's like a plant bag, but I just never got around to it. Moved so many times. So now it just holds yarn, which it's actually really good for. So that's that on my blanket. I'm not going to go too in depth on it because I've already mentioned like the yarns I'm using for it. If you're curious about that and you are new, if you go over to my Ravelry page, you can definitely get on there and look at exactly what colors I've used. But yeah, it's a wonderful project. I love it. I think anybody who's, you know, looking for something kind of fun to do, it is fun, but I do think that you have to be kind of diligent about it. Like, especially if you're going to be spending money on, you know, bunch of yarn and you use half of it and then you stop working on it and then you get behind, or you just stop working on it. You may have a bunch of yarn and you can use it for other things, I guess. But for me, whenever I buy yarn, I want it to be for that project, which I do think I am kind of, I don't know, I'm a process knitter or crafter, but I do like the project at the end. But I love the process of making. I love that every day that I do put in a row, it's a wonderful thing knowing this entire blanket is going to, you know, it's going to be very sentimental to me knowing I'm getting married this year, and each of these days, it's a day that I get to be with the love of my life, and it's like, I don't want to give up on that, so I don't know. I say do it. It's a fun blanket, but it's not for everybody. Anyway, next work in progress is, I'll show my socks next. I showed that on the last episode. So I've been doing really well with my planner that I have. I didn't bring it with me. Maybe next time I'll show you kind of what I do. But yeah, I'm just doing a stripe a day. So with these socks, because they are self-striped socks. And I found that has really helped me out, because last week I started doing this, but the week before, during my last episode, I just got to a point where I was like, I want to work on only this project, and I did a lot of work on like 2 things, but then all my other whips were neglected. So now I have it set up in my planner to do certain things with these whips every day to make good progress, which has really helped with this sock. I'm telling you, just doing a stripe a day, literally it's like 8 rows. It takes less than an hour for me to do that. But that way I can get that done, do my other whips that I have here, but then still get all of my other tasks like cleaning, errands, anything like that done as well, so I'm not falling behind on those things. So here's the second sock. Whoops. There's the tail. So yeah, here's the second sock. I believe last time I showed these, I was just here to this little white area. But then yeah, I actually just put in today's row here. And I believe I only have like a couple more rows and then I get to do the heel flap. So that's exciting. So I am definitely making progress. And I think that they're working out pretty well. They're looking pretty twinsy, I would say. But like you can see there, it's just off by a tiny wincey bit, but oh well. Oh well. But yeah, see, I just have like 2 more little sections and then ready to do the heel flap. I'm so excited to get these done. They're gonna be so cute, which you can kind of tell I have a color palette. I love a good dusty pink mauve. I just love it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. That or like a purple. My colors are definitely like a mauvey, you know, pink, purple, dusty rose. I love like a purple lilac, plum, anything like that. And then I love all my neutrals, like my beige. I love a good brown, of course black, that goes with everything. Nice gray color. But yeah, so that's the progress I've made on my socks, which I'm just holding in this little project bag. It's a pull string, but I just do this with it, honestly, with my pull string. So it's like a little drawstring type thing. I just do that. I kind of hold it here, grab the yarn, and I kind of slip it through like a little slip knot. I don't know. I feel like it keeps it safe away from the moths. This is actually the Wild Fibers project bag. It's in Mount Vernon, Washington. So it was the local yarn shop that was closest to me back in Washington. Other than Jennings Yarn and Needlecrafts, I'll put that at the bottom. I actually used to work at that yarn shop for a good amount of years before I moved as well and before the pandemic hit. But yeah, it was wonderful. I loved working at the Jennings Yarn and Needlecrafts, by the way. It was a wonderful job. I loved being able to sit there and knit and talk to people about knitting. I got a good discount. I would say, I think it was like 10 or 20% off. I can't remember. It was a good discount though on yarn. But this was the one in Mount Vernon. I would go there every now and then if they had a yarn that I needed. So yeah. Check them out on Facebook. I'm sure they're on there. Yeah, so next would be my Belmont cardigan. I've made a ton of progress on this, which when I first casted this on, oh my gosh, I ended up having to like go back so many times on it because I swear there was always, the wording and the pattern was very confusing to me, and that's my fault for not thoroughly reading through it, which I should know for, like, I love baking and cooking. I should know to read, like, the recipe before I begin, but with this one, I did the swatch, but then I just, you know, started knitting, and it confused me. I had to go back, like, 2 rows and fix things, but I've got the rhythm now. But yeah, here's the progress I've made. So here is where I was last time I showed this, and I have gotten, whoops, sorry, I've gotten like a good, like, I'd say 3 inches or so from there, and I finally got to some of the beautiful lace work. I'm loving it. Oh my goodness. And then a bunch of stockinette there in the back, and then there's another lace panel here. So I've been working on that. I have my little stitch markers. They're little bumblebees. Oh, it's flipped over because I just finished the other side here. I'll show it. I don't know if it's showing up. Oops, trying to show it. It's an adorable little marker. I don't know if it's gonna clear up or not. But anyway, I made these stitch markers out of some little jewelry pieces and little circles. I think I got the stuff from like either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. But I love making stitch markers, and so I made a whole set of these bees. And the reason I made the bees is one, I don't know if y'all have ever seen this in my videos because my watch, but I actually have a bee tattoo. It's kind of hard to see because my wrist is rotating. But yeah, I have a little bee because Melissa is actually in Greek, it means bee, or honeybee, depending on how you decipher it. But yeah, so my name means bee or honeybee. And so, yeah, so I thought it would be kind of cool to make little bee stitch markers. And I think I have just on this one I have 4, but I think I have 8 in total. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this project. I am working out of the Holst yarn, Super Soft, and it is in the color Sweet Pea. So I don't know if it's showing up very accurate on the camera. Actually, it looks pretty good right there. Yeah, and you can kind of see the yellows and the whites that are blended in there. It's absolutely gorgeous, and every now and then there's this really dark pink that pops up. I don't know if you can see this little speck here, but every now and then you get these really cool super saturated pieces, which I love. And so when I was ranting earlier, this is 100% animal fiber. It is very reasonable. That's why I don't mind buying it. Even with shipping and stuff, it is pretty reasonable compared to other options. I've done the math whenever I would calculate what I would want. I had a couple of different yarns in mind for this cardigan, and when I was doing the math, this one by far was way more budget friendly. So I don't mind working with this stuff. I don't mind buying it, and it is 100% animal fiber. Yeah. Anyway, so there's that project. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully get a little bit more done, and so I was able to check that off of my long list because I have a couple of more things to show. Oh my gosh. Another thing I've been working on lately is I put in an order to Knit Picks, and I know that I put up a little short video of all of the yarn acquisitions that I got. And if you would rather see the videos like that, because I know some people don't like watching the actual knitting podcasts that some people put up, and then have the really long acquisition at the end. So if you would rather do it that way, or if you liked that kind of format, just give this video a like and maybe mention it down below, because anytime I get something in the mail like that, I can always make a short little video and post it, if that's more fun or easier for you, or if you don't care to watch acquisitions. That way you're not watching super long video, because so far I've been putting up longer podcasts. That way you don't have to watch the entire thing just to see the acquisitions, or you don't have to sit there, listen to everything, and then be like, oh, acquisitions, I'm out of here. So yeah, I like to see the acquisitions, but anyway, let me know if you liked it that way or not. But I put in the order, and it came in actually when I was done posting my second episode. And so once I got that posted and everything, I noticed that the package came in, so I did the short video. And the yarn I bought was for a couple of different projects. I bought, which I think I actually have it here, I bought a sweater quantity worth for my fiance Brad. Once I got done with my cabled sweater that I made myself, I really wanted to make him one as well. I was a little worried though about getting him the whole super soft, because I do know that for him he can get quite sensitive to the wools, and so I thought that buying him something that maybe was a little more super wash maybe, or something like that, would be better for him. So anyway, I bought this yarn from Knit Picks, and it's a worsted weight. It says it there. It's a tweed, and I've got it in the color cream, and it is 80% superwash fine, Highland wool and 20% Donegal tweed. So very reasonable. I think it was like $11.99 or $12.99. I can't remember the price, but I'm not going to go too much into detail because if you do want to know a little bit more about this yarn, you can actually go to my episode 2.5 and give it a look-see to see all of the yarn that I got. But this is the one that I've been using. It has beautiful little purple, gold, and brown flecks of tweed in there. Love it. So I am working on the sweater. I think it's Saven or Saven. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I will put it on the screen here so you know how it's at least spelled, and then if you know how to pronounce it, let me know. But anyway, I am working on the sleeve, and I've gotten to about right here. But yeah, he really wanted a cabled sweater, and I don't mind it because I haven't done cables in so long. It had been easily like 5 or so years since I did any kind of cable work up until my sweater, and then now I have the bug. It's like I want to do everything with cables, so I saw it. I'm gonna hopefully put a picture of it also on the screen just so y'all can see how beautiful it is. It's a gorgeous sweater. It's also unisex, so give it a go. So it's kind of like buying multiple patterns in one, which is a good deal. But yeah, absolutely love it. Beautiful cables, super soft yarn. This, oh, it is so squishy. I love it. Oh, absolutely adore it. And so far he's seen it. He really enjoys it. He's given it some squishes and really liked it. Also, it does call for, oh, I forgot the name of this, a tubular cast on. The way I do the cast-ons, I didn't even read like what the pattern has you do for the cast-on. I saw that it was a tubular cast-on, so I went and I saw Andrea Mowry's tutorial for it, and I love it. Every single time I've ever done a tubular cast-on or bind off in tubular, I always go to hers. For me, it just works the best. I do know there's a couple of different ways to do these cast-ons and bind-offs, but that's just the one that I personally used. Anyway, so there's that. I'm hoping to get some more progress done on that by the next video. Hopefully I'll have a sleeve done. We'll see. Lastly, my last whip, and this one has been my kind of end of day knit, I would say. Like, I've gotten everything done. Everything's done. I'm gonna knit on what I really want to knit on. So I am working on the Camisole number 2, I believe it is. And I'll actually put the whole thing down here, like who it's by and everything, because right now I think it's like my favorite things knitwear, I want to say, is who it is. But here's so far, whoops, the tank top I'm making. And oh God, I forgot. I think I'm doing like the 39. I think I'm doing that one. I am doing a cropped one, so I'm hoping to maybe have it, end about maybe here. So instead of like where this sweater's cropped goes, maybe just have it end a little bit shorter to go with like more summery outfits like shorts, or even this skirt. Honestly, I think it would look very beautiful with it. But yeah, I absolutely love it. Super simple so far working on it. It's literally just simple knit and purls. I know there's probably going to be some decreases here and there, so if you're a newer knitter and wanting to make a garment, but you don't want to deal with committing to a huge sweater, you could definitely do a little camisole tank top type deal, and it's definitely doable. Knit and purls, basic stuff. You can do it. The yarn I'm using for it is, let's see if I have another one. There we go. Yeah, I also got this from Knit Picks. This was all in the same order. So this is the Lindy chain, and it's a fingering weight, and it's in the color Plum. And I want to say that's pretty bang on color. It's a very, almost like a stonewash plum. Like it's not like a deep purple plum like the actual fruit you see in the market. It's kind of got that muted dustiness to it. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's working out gorgeous, which as you can see, I have a problem with these colors. They all go together. I love a purple and mauve. I can't help myself. But yeah, beautifully working up. But yeah, this yarn is 70% linen and 30% cotton or Pima cotton. When I first got it, I thought it was actually kind of stiff. It is a chain ply yarn, so I don't know if it's gonna show up. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna focus. Anyway, I'm sorry about that, but it is a chain ply. I thought it was a little stiff whenever I first got it, but honestly, after working with it for a while, it does soften up. I'm not sure on where yet, if it's going to like stretch. I don't think it's going to lengthwise. It's pretty solid. It may just stretch a little bit widthwise, and that may be because of the ribbing also, but I'm really excited to see the wear with this, and I'm not going to mind too much if it's a little baggy because it's going to be very drapey. Like, you can tell, like, normal stiff things would be able to stand up if I flipped it over, but this is very drapey. Like, it falls right back over. So yeah, it's like with this will be pretty drapey. Same kind of deal. So it's not going to be super stiff. It'll be very nice to wear, comfortable for the spring and summer. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm definitely going to let y'all know how it wears whenever I get it finished. Because I really don't have, just thinking about it, I don't have any like spring or summer knits. I've only ever made like winter garments, like sweaters, big shawls, things of that nature. And so I really wanted to make some tank tops, and I was watching a podcast from a girl, and I forgot which podcast it was. Oh, it may have been Orsa Knits. I'll link it down below and I'll put it on the screen of her channel. I forgot which video it was where she actually showed one of her camisoles that she made by this company, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited. I think it's actually super soft now after working with it, and I feel like that's maybe one reason why people stop working with the cotton and the linen combo yarns anyway. Like this one is blended, is that maybe it kind of feels stiff, but I've noticed that if I have like some lotion on my hands, that helps. But yeah, just playing with it, it does soften up. And quite honestly, after I work on the whole super soft yarn for a bit, anything afterwards on my hands feels like a cloud. That's just me. I like both of them, but definitely for different kinds of softness. Like the super soft is soft to me, even though it does need to be washed out with the spinning oil. It needs that spinning oil washed out, I mean. But it's still soft. But this one, like, oh my God, it is so nice. I love it. But yeah, that is from Knit Picks as well. Inexpensive. Again, this is, you know, good fiber. I mean, it's linen and cotton. They're both plant-based, so no plastic in it or anything. You know, go ahead and get that. I also got a couple more of the Lindy chain in this beautiful turmeric color. So I'm also planning on making the same tank top, but with this color as well. So I don't know if you can see that one or if it's gonna focus well enough. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get it to focus. You can kind of see how it's chained. It's a beautiful color. I would say about right here is the actual color. It's a very mustardy golden color. So same with this one. It's kind of a, you know, stony wash purple. Like, it's not like purple, but yeah, it's a beautiful color. I bought 3 skeins of each color for these tank tops because I'm doing them cropped. Yeah, hopefully they work out well. I'm excited to try them. Other than that, I did buy 2 other yarns from Knit Picks, and these ones are going to be for another camisole from the same company. I believe it's camisole number 5. I'll be showing pictures of these as well, but here is this yarn from Knit Picks. It's the comfy one, and this one is in the color Parchment, which its color's pretty right. Yeah, I'd say about there. It's about the right color. And then I have this one as well. This one is one of my favorites. It's a beautiful, like, red, purpley brown. It's absolutely beautiful. And this one's the color Cabin, and that's about the same, you know, it's about right on the colors back here. So these ones are both 75% Pima cotton and 25% acrylic. These ones have way more yardage on them than these ones do. So, like, where's the yardage on this one? Yeah, so this is 218 yards for 50 grams, and this is 180 yards for 50 grams. So you get a little bit more on this one than you do on this one. But it's because, you know, these ones are a bit cheaper also. The reason I bought these ones, they do have acrylic in them. I don't mind that. I like a good deal. And so I bought 3 of each of these colors, and I'm going to be making the camisole number 5 in them for this summer. And so I figured these would be good transitional tank tops because they do have that acrylic in there. It may make them a little bit warmer. So it'd be good for like springtime, fall time type of deal. I'm also thinking that with these, it'll be interesting to see how these tank tops wear versus these tank tops. So yeah, these are pretty much my go-to colors, like neutrals, and then you get this beautiful like orange and then a purple. So like honestly, my color palette is within these shades. Yeah. Within those shades are typically what I end up choosing. Yeah, I am working the tank top on my Licka needles, just in case you're wondering. I am using a 2.5 on them, 2.5 US, and what does I say, a 3mm needle for these, or for this tank top. For the sweater I'm making for Brad, I'm using US 7s, and these are my Knitter Pride, I think they're called Dreams needles. They're the only 7 I had available. I would have used my Licka ones, but they're on another project. So, you know, what's a knitter to do? Use the other needles. I can't help myself. And then also on the Belmont cardigan, I'm using US size 4. Also the Knitter Pride Dreams needles. Yeah, my 4 and 7s in the Licka are on other projects, probably hibernating in my closet that I haven't seen for a while. Oops. Anyway, but that's why I'm being a little bit better. These vlogs or podcasts are actually keeping me more accountable for what I'm casting on and crafting. That way I'm not just mindlessly working on, like, you know, 2 rows and then it stays in hibernation for years and years, because I've actually done that. Then I end up frogging that piece, and so I do want to, you know, crack down on these projects and get them finished, because I would love to wear them. I do know that I'm really hoping I can get the tank top done for this year, because I would love to wear it, and I think I will get at least this one done, because I would love to make this one and then switch over and do camisole number 5 out of the Parchment. I would love to have these 2 done before this coming fall. So that's my main goal with those 2 projects. For the cardigan, the Belmont cardigan and Brad's sweater, Those ones I'm not too worried about because those are going to be winter wear, or like my cardigan may be like a fall piece into winter. His sweater will definitely be winter wear, but you know, that's months away for us anyway in the northern hemisphere. So those ones I am working on, but I guess I'm feeling if I go down a different crafting rabbit hole and those ones are kind of on the back burner, I don't mind too much, but I do want to make progress. I'm kind of conflicted about it. It's like, I don't know if I want to work on those, or if I just want to put my full attention into my tank tops and my temperature blanket and stuff. I don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll see at the next video what I ended up doing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I have to show. I do know that I mentioned my spinning wheel here in my first episode. So I actually received this as a gift. So this will be the segment where I'm gonna just kind of slow things down. We're gonna talk about, you know, a little bit about me, kind of like a sit and knit. So if you want to do that, or if you've been knitting this whole time, wonderful. Let me know what you've been working on. I would love to know. But yeah, so I'll talk about the spinning wheel because I did promise that I would do that. I didn't do it last episode and I totally spaced because it was so long. But yeah, so this spinning wheel, I don't even know if I can pull her out. She means the world to me, this spinning wheel. Okay. Don't know if you can fully see her in all of her glory. So, at my last job in Washington, I worked at a pool and fitness center, and I was a receptionist at the time, and then I did end up becoming the manager of the front desk. Besides the point, when I was working there, I worked the very early mornings, so 3 a.m. I would tend to wake up and I would be to work by I think 4:45 because I did have to commute, and then I would open up at 5 a.m. And a lot of the locals or regulars, I would come in the mornings. I would get there at like 4:45, and I would let them sit in the lobby where it's warm or cool depending on the weather. I would let them inside, and they would sit before the lifeguard was ready, and then I would check them and they'd go swim. There was a wonderful man, absolutely adored him and his wife. They were like grandparents to me, especially him. He was in his 90s. He grew up in Switzerland, and he would tell me the most wonderful stories of him as a young boy and as a teenager, and we just bonded. I really loved him. I loved his wife too. They were wonderful people with the best stories, and I loved listening to it. And anyway, I would always be knitting at the front desk, and they enjoyed it. They would always ask me what I'm working on. I actually made him a hat. So if you go to my Ravelry, there's going to be a hat that I actually think was a pattern by Fiber Tales. And so I made him a hat one year for Christmas. And in return, he gifted me this spinning wheel. He knew that I was in love with fiber and knitting, and he thought that, you know, it would do well with me. I'll try not to cry for the rest of the story. So his father was a woodsman, like a craftsman of wood, and they had the 4 kids. So his father had 4 children. Martin, the man that was like my grandfather that I'm speaking about, who gifted this to me, was one of these children. And the father made a spinning wheel by hand for each of his children. And then his children would give it to their children, and so on. And so Martin and his wife didn't have children for own personal reasons. And so he gifted it to me, and I just absolutely love it. I can't remember receiving such a beautiful thing in my whole life. And it does work. I don't not use it because it's broken or anything. It does work. It is absolutely beautiful. I just choose not to knit, or I choose not to spin with it. I don't know. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Maybe one day I'll get back into spinning. I do have another wheel that I would actually spin with that I also received as a gift, which blows my mind. I don't know how I've been so fortunate in my life to receive these two things. This spinning wheel, though, will probably forever just be there for me to look at and remember my adoptive grandfather. He's a wonderful man. The stories he would tell me as a teenager riding his bicycle to Italy and back. I can't imagine growing up in America. It's like I've personally never gone to Europe, so like hearing his stories just like filled me with so much hope and love and all of those good things. And so he also had stories that he would tell me about the war, World War II, which I don't feel comfortable talking about. But yeah, that's my story of my spinning wheel and how I received it from a very dear man who actually, along with the spinning wheel, gave me a picture of him and his father. And it was a picture of the very last time that he actually saw his father, before he moved to America when he was a young adult. So I just thought it was really sweet, you know. But anyway, he's a wonderful man. That's the story behind my spinning wheel. I'm not going to pull out my other spinning wheel. It's actually in my storage closet right now. But I think it's one of the Ashford ones. And I received that one from a local spinner in Washington when I was working at the yarn shop. I had mentioned to her that I was interested in spinning, but how I had a wheel, but I didn't want to use it because of sentimental purposes. And I would probably break down and cry if I were ever to break this wheel in any way. So I was telling her that, and she was saying how she had multiple wheels. So like she had been spinning wool and selling it locally. I know that she had some skeins that she would sell at the yarn shop I worked at. And anyway, she was actually going to be taking time off. I don't think that she wanted to spin necessarily anymore, and so she gifted me one, and I have worked with it. I have spun a little bit, but since I then ended up adopting Luna at the time, who's actually on the chair over here, I didn't want to risk spinning and her little kitten paw jetting in there in the wheel and breaking it, so I haven't spun in quite some time because of that. Which fortunately Luna is now to an age where she doesn't really care. She'd rather just like sit on her, chair by the sun and bathe. That's all Luna cares about. But now with Lily, my newest little baby, she is very much like in that kitten phase where if it moves, she's gonna play with it. And Luna's kind of that way, but she has to be more in her actual like zone, like she's in her routine. She knows that there's going to be play, then food, then her nap type of deal. And Lily's still getting into that rhythm, and she has so much kitten energy right now. So which I may put some videos at the end of Lily, which is funny because Luna's never done this. Luna could care less about the TV, but Lily, on the other hand, if anything moves on the TV, she will smack at it. So it's quite funny. But yeah, I was pretty fortunate to get those spinning wheels. I believe in karma. That is one thing I do believe in. I feel like if you do good things and, good things will happen, maybe not in the ways that you would wish for them to happen, but it's those little glimpses of hope and love. And any little act of kindness, I feel, goes such a long way. Especially in times like this, any kind of little effort that anybody can make of kindness, that it just goes so far. What I've grown up with is it doesn't matter so much of like what's going on, but if you can stand up and be the bigger person, be the one that shows kindness even when times are hard, or maybe in a time that you would rather not show kindness to someone or something. If you show that you're the bigger person and you can do something in a kind way, I've just noticed good things come back to those people that do that. I am not perfect in any way. I do try my very best to make the right decisions, to choose kindness and to choose love over anger and hatred. And I believe anytime someone can show kindness and love towards anybody, it goes such a long way. Little acts of kindness every day. It's a wonderful thing. But yeah, maybe one of these days when both of my cats are a little bit older, I wouldn't mind getting back into spinning and actually fully learning at one point. But as of right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen because both my cats are very young still. Even Miss Luna, who just turned 2 last Friday, my little baby, but she still has a little bit of kitten energy, but Lily definitely has her beat. So once they're more mellowed out, I'll hopefully get back into some spinning, because I've been seeing a lot of knitters on here starting to spin, and it's beautiful, the things that they're making. I was actually watching Kat's video that she posted. I'll put her YouTube channel here, Heather and Hops, but she did a spinning and she showed her skein in her last video, and it was absolutely beautiful, absolutely breathtaking. And I know Andrea Mowry's getting into it. She's been showing hers on her videos that she puts out, and so I really want to. I would love to get back into spinning, but my hands are tied. I'd rather not have to go to the cat hospital. And my poor heart, I hope, that was funny. My poor heart, I can't, I know some people would be like, oh, we'll just go into a room and shut the door, but it breaks my heart hearing them like cry after me, because both of my girls are like that. They follow me everywhere throughout the house, and it just hurts. Like, if I were to shut the door and heard them meowing on the other side, oh God, I wouldn't be able to spin peacefully or happily because hearing that. So anyway, I do know that here this week I will be getting in some fabric in the mail, and then I'll be going down to the fabric store to get some extra little things that I may need. But yeah, I'm going to be making a quilt. So it will be not in honor of my marriage, but because we are getting married, I've always envisioned of having one of these quilts. It's the ring one. I think it's like called double ring quilt or something like that. I actually never knew where to get the pattern for it. Like I feel like I've been searching for it, and it's never been the one that I've seen before at online, or even friends that have had like shown me pictures of their parents' quilts of this sort. And anyway, I was watching Voolenvine, so Kristin's channel, and she was showing hers, and she linked it below, and I felt like it was like meant to be for me to watch that video, because it's like, oh my God, I've been looking for this pattern for so long. And it's not even just like the pattern, the lady shows you how to do it. So if you are interested in the double ringed quilt, definitely go check out Voolenvine, her channel, her latest video. She actually has it linked down below. I love the color she chose for her blanket. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. But anyway, I'm excited to be getting my fabric in. I'm gonna be working on that soon, so I'll try to take some footage of it and put it into my episode number 4, which will be out not next week, but the week after. And also, if anyone else is out there that likes Formula One racing, I am so happy that the season just started this past weekend. I am blown away, and if you aren't a Formula One fan, I'm sorry if this is boring, but I was so happy to see Ferrari win. Oh my gosh, I was so happy with their car. Oh my god, it feels so good to see like this iconic team for years. Like they do well, and then the past like handful they've been kind of slacking. But they made a beautiful car this year. It is running perfect. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for the next race this weekend. I will say I am a huge Red Bull fan. I support Max Verstappen 100%. Him and Sergio Perez, Checo. I hope Red Bull wins the Constructors this year. I also hope that Max gets another championship. That would be perfect. But I do enjoy seeing, you know, Charles and, you know, all of them doing well at Ferrari, him and Carlos. Anyway, it's enough of that. You probably don't want to hear about my Formula One love of the sport. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I will give you a virtual participation ribbon. Thank you so much for staying. I really appreciate it. Thank you again to everybody that's been leaving comments on all of my videos. I love reading them. I'm still so shocked that people are watching my videos and leaving such beautiful comments. Like just hearing people say how they like my personality, it's so sweet. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to me. It just puts such a smile on my face. It's so kind. Thank you so much. Again, thank you if you're new for showing up. If y'all liked this content, give it a thumbs up down below. I'll do my best to try to put the things on the screen, put some things down in the description box, and then I will see y'all during my next video with some new goodies and hopefully maybe something else finished. We'll see. Have a wonderful day. Bye.